All right, guys. So, Hasan gave us one of the most brilliant takes today possible. Somebody had sent it to me. It's incredible. It's about how it's really hard to be a streamer, but not so hard to be your average working class American. Nothing communicates that you are on the side of the working class American as a based socialist like saying that streaming is harder than anything else. Anyway, after that, what I really want to watch is somebody sent this to me a while, not that long ago, maybe a week or so ago. It's about how apparently Hasan's a trust fund baby. And like, oh man, how unsurprising. He's always trying to downplay it that, he came from money. He tries to pretend that he can connect with the rest of us cool guys. Clearly he can't. Anyway, I feel like I could talk about this because I got popular on social media when I was like 29 years old after working the same job for a decade. I quit at about 11 years. I was able to because of this job doing social media. It's been incredible. I will say that there are stressors to doing social media, and the biggest stressor for doing social media, in my opinion.
PRNKS super chatted $2.
Stop telling me this. Happy birthday.
PRNKS.
Okay.
Happy 50th birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. The most stressful part of the job is the lack of consistency sometimes. But when you're Hasan level, that doesn't exist
Willow
anymore.
Amnesty super chatted $2.
Okay, I'm pausing the alerts.
$2 from Willow Amnesty. Happy birthday. Going to
It's not
smoke
my
crack
birthday.
in your honor.
Okay, thank you so much. It's not my birthday. All right? It's not my birthday today. Anyway, I guess I'm going to reset my camera. This is getting chaotic. We just started a segment, and it's getting insane. All right? There are some of those stressors. There's also people watching you a lot. So, like, some things can get a little out of control, some of the heat. But I'll tell you that, especially with the money, this is the best job ever compared to what I used to do. I work for myself. I work when I want. I can stream when I want. It's great. It's better than ever. Okay. So, yeah. And I worked a job that wasn't bad. It paid decently, but they would take away I dealt with the normal shit. The union wasn't very good. They would let them take away some of my money or my benefits. It was insane. So let's first see this little clip that Hasan has to say.
Yes, a real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired.
Whoa.
But a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
in the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
Wow, what a take. Wow, what a take.
So,
yeah. So first of all, like I said, I've worked before. There's times where I've worked 11 or 12-hour days. They do suck. It does suck the soul out of you, especially since, again, Hasan is a millionaire. That's the biggest soul-sucking part, is when you're working your ass off and you're not getting a very big payback. Yeah, that's number one. Number two, Hasan doesn't need to stream 9 hours a day. He decides to. One of the biggest annoying things about Hasan is he complains about how horrible Amazon is, and then he takes an exclusivity contract with Twitch, which is a subsidiary of Amazon, and then he sits on a stream all day. You don't have to do that. You can make your own streaming service. You can stream on YouTube. You could just stream for 3 or 4 hours a day. He chooses to come on and stream for the entire day so he can make millions and millions of dollars a year when he would still make a good amount of money. He could decide to stream 4 hours a day, 7 days a week. He would still make more than enough money to live. But that's not the MO. He's just a rich, entitled kid that's tired of sitting on a stream all day. And you know what? I wouldn't want to sit on a stream all day either for 9 hours. Like, it's just a pain in my ass. My ass would literally hurt. Right? But that's why I don't do it. I stream for 3 or 4 hours. I get off. I do my own work. I do my own clips. I do some like thumbnails and stuff. It's not super hard work. That's it. He can have that relationship with his content, but he doesn't want to because he's a fucking brat. So it's just annoying. He doesn't understand what a real job is like. Real jobs can be incredibly soul-sucking, that you're working these jobs for so long, especially when you've put in a ton of time into it, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and then you get fucked. Oh, we're phasing out your job. Oh, sorry, we're going to have to force you to retire. Oh, we're going to have to do this. Oh, we're going to have to cut this benefit. Oh, we're going to have to do this. Oh, we're going to have to... So, whatever. But anyway, let's talk about him being a trust fund baby. That's what we're going to roll into. And it just shows us that how disconnected Hasan is from reality. So yeah, let's see what we got here.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Sean, and today we're going to talk about how Jank's nephew is just like those other girls, just like those other socialists, a trust fund brat that grew up rich his entire life, despite the fact that...
I feel like we knew, for the most part, we already knew that, right? I mean, Hasan, what's Hasan, like, he literally, his parents are Turkish, and they came over here, and then they had him born here, and then they went back to Turkey. Like, of course... Of course his life is easy. We already knew that, like, he was rich. Like, his family has money to be able to do that so he can get citizenship here.
That he continues to lie about this fact over and over again in different various podcasts to pretend that he did it all on his own. Yep. Now, I'm going to get into this. We're going to laugh at these clips. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who signed up over on actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay.
And thank you to the podcast listeners, Spotify, Apple, and Google's podcasting platform. So first things first, I want to give a shout out to YouTuber XLP. You should go over and subscribe because it appears that this is the first individual to actually run this down. He did so 5 months ago. And as somebody who was a YouTuber at and around that range, who would do things where I would dig up all this information only to find other people rediscover and not give credit for it, I want you guys to make sure you attribute as much credit to this individual as humanly possible.
Ooh, that's fun.
Now, if you guys aren't aware, Jank's nephew is in fact Cenk Uyghur's nephew. The reason...
Yeah, that's why you call him Jank's nephew. Well, that's the first aspect of him. Like, I mean, nepotism has driven him 100%. Okay, Hasan's not particularly intelligent. He has no actual life experience to be talking about what he's talking about. He's never struggled at a job. He's never struggled with really anything in his life. And I'm not saying that my life was the hardest thing in the world either. But this guy hasn't actually held down a regular job. I mean, I'm very fortunate for having done that. So I get to have a little bit more life experience and get to be a little normal and be a little more relatable. Right, guys? But yeah, his uncle got him his job there. Destiny set him up with pretty much all of his political stuff there as well. He's an attractive guy, which absolutely plays a factor. You know, his whole life has been a breeze. Entire life.
And he has a successful online political media career is due in large part to that fact. However, he is in horrific denial of that fact. That's one of the reasons why I constantly bring up the fact that he is, in fact, Cenk Uyghur's nephew. But it turns out...
I feel like at this point it doesn't even do it. Like, when Young Turks was actually popular, you know, and I'm not saying that they're not popular at all, but I feel like obviously everybody has their up and down. That would have hit harder, but now Hasan is more popular. But then again, I think he's on his slow decline, and there's nothing wrong with that, other than the fact that he can't cope with it. So now he's talking about Destiny again, even though he had his no Destiny policy, no free clout policy. It's kind of funny.
What Destiny had been saying for a very long time about Jank's nephew is also true. This is a rich kid. He grew up on a large property where he would ride horses on the regular because he's not like you in any way, shape.
I was able to ride a horse when I was like 14, but then I didn't age out. I waited out. I'm too fat to ride a horse now. So...
perform. Not that this will matter to all the Jank's nephew simps out there.
No, well, this is the thing, is that I think that in general, when it comes to doing social media, when it comes to doing social media, obviously different people are going to attract a different audience. I know that sounds weird. It's like, that's like a dumb moment. But Hasan, in my opinion, audience was like young socialists or young kids that didn't really understand how life worked. And I'm progressive. You know, I love that insurance company. But they were young and they liked him because he was attractive and he sounds smart and like he was loud and he, you know what I mean? Like he had like a little cocoa melon going on. As they get older, I think people are going to realize he's out of touch and there's nothing really relatable about him. He's not particularly intelligent. He's not particularly smart. He's not particularly funny. He's not particularly entertaining. He just exists. And as people get older, they're going to age out. And I don't think he's going to be able to get like a new audience. There's nothing that he's doing that would cause him to get a new audience, you know? So yeah, he's just kind of, I think he's just, and again, he's got enough money where he doesn't have to work anymore, and that's cool. But I think that his career is flatlined, and I don't think that there's going to ever really be anything that he can come out the other side and really do. So
I know you're going to say, well, listen, he preaches socialism, and Jank's nephew said he was only barely, not even qualified for upper middle class, so don't worry about it, guys. He's just like us, and remember, the communist revolution
yeah,
is
I remember where he's like, I only have a $2.5 million house in California.
upon us.
So I grew up in Turkey to a relatively affluent family, and if you're like even a little bit affluent in Turkey, because of how massive the wealth gap is in a country like that, you're caked up in comparison to like American standards, where if a similar salary would not, or similar amount of wealth would not make you, upper middle class even.
So this is the first and most obvious lie for Cenk's nephew, because his father was actually a VP for a company called Sabanci Holdings, which happens to be a Fortune 500 company. And at points in time during
who would have thought? I didn't realize that he had that much money. I knew he had money. I knew he was lying, because I know Turkish people in America, and like they're like they got money. You know what I mean? Like they're not just like, oh, no, they got fucking money. All right, they have like, gas stations under their house money. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but okay, that's what I know of the person I know about. They got too much money, man. And that's how some immigration will work. It's like, especially if it's difficult to get here, it's that they'll try to take people with money. Like, obviously, it's like, oh, I want citizenship and I'm rich. Oh, cool. So you're going to take your money and you're going to spend it in America? Great. Here you go. You're now an American. Of course, it's how it works. It makes sense, So, yeah.
During his life, since his father is also a public figure, he was actually a lobbyist in the EU on behalf of this company and on behalf of the nation of Turkey. Not to mention the fact that Cenk's nephew's father actually is a political figure in Turkey. He's connected to the founding of a political party over there, but for some reason, he wants you to believe that he was barely or not even upper middle class.
In comparison to like American standards, where if a similar salary would not, or similar amount of.
Well, here it's clearly downplaying how rich he was, but he's like, yeah, it was like kind of above, the ground. It's kind of like I did pretty well. Oh goodness. Okay, sorry.
Wealth would not make you, upper middle class even.
Now, for those of you who are unaware, in the United States of America, they rank upper middle class as $80,000 to $100,000.
What? That doesn't feel upper middle class to me. Okay. Hey, good for me, dude. Hey, I'm getting. Hey, hopefully, my goal as a YouTuber is to become less relatable every day. Okay, I want to. I grew up. My mom did well for herself. She worked at White Castle, man. She did well for herself, and she raised me. I didn't have a father, but she put a lot of effort into me. She devoted her life to me. I love her. God bless her. So I have some. I know what it's like to struggle a little bit, not like some people. Because I've always been fat. You can't really be poor if you're fat. That's just a hot take. If you're 200 pounds overweight, how are you poor? Eat less. But my goal is to just be so unrelatable. Like, oh, what'd you do? Oh, my wife and I decided to go on an impromptu trip to Disney. We just flew to Florida for 3 days. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? While you guys are struggling to pay for eggs, that's what I'm looking to do. That's what I aspire to be, man. That's my aspiration. Don't hate on me, Don't hate me because you don't happen to be me. You know what I mean?
Do you legitimately believe that Cenk Uyghur's nephew, who had a father that was the VP at this Fortune 500 company that was going to the European Union to lobby the EU, that had horses that he was riding every day as a child, or often as a child, I don't know if it was actually every day, was only making $75,000 a year? Because again, he says
that's a good amount of money.
Barely, not really upper middle class. That's what he's actually trying to put forward to you guys out there.
Yeah, he's just like doing a little bit better than middle class.
In the audience, that he was just a regular guy by American standards, but it was only because of the income inequality in Turkey that he actually seemed like he was.
I mean, bro, I really every single day. I think it might have been Destiny who said this first, but Hasan is just the Steven Crowder of the left. He doesn't care about anything. He just lies. In fact, Hasan might be less honest than Steven Crowder. I know that sounds weird, but I mean, how do you get over such a big lie like that? You know what I mean? Like, that's huge. Like, yeah, I'm not really that rich. I never really grew up with a lot. What? It's weird.
A little bit wealthier compared to his compatriots, but honestly, they were all living in a mud hut, basically. They had to hunt and forage for their food. It was a real struggle for Cenk's nephew growing up, only having a father that was a VP. He never made CEO. He wasn't the president of the company, and he was lobbying the EU, but he didn't get the chance to lobby the United States of America. So was he really that successful? What if they sent him...
That is true. Also, America bad.
...to a crappy EU country? What if he was only lobbying in Greece or in Italy? No offense to Greece or Italy, but I'm trying to go by the side.
I disagree, by the way. Full offense to Greece and Italy. Full offense.
Of the economies that we're talking about. He didn't make it to Germany, so no big deal. Don't worry about it.
But he was successful. I mean, he was like lobbying the Turkish government. He was like the right hand man in a holding group. You know what I mean? He was like He had some pretty serious jobs.
Now, what I love about this is that he says, oh, look, he was successful, guys. I mean, he was lobbying the Turkish government. He was the right-hand man in an unnamed holding group, which, by the way, his father's a public figure. He's appeared on television multiple times. He's listed publicly.
Can you list the name of the holding group?
You guys can go find him if you want. But he's like, you know, he had some jobs. Like, you know, one day he was a mechanic. One day he was, you know, he was fixing a toilet. He was a plumber. And the next day he was the VP of a holding company. And then lobbying the...
It's funny because I mean, it would have been harder for Hasan to come off as relatable if he had just admitted that he came from like money. But I still think he could have pulled it off. I mean, he could have still given something from value, something of value. His whole thing could have been like, you guys should have been like, my family shouldn't have been as rich, and I shouldn't be as rich, and blah 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 blah. Which maybe he does say, but he should just have leaned into it. Why open yourself up to have a lie going on out there? Like that's the only thing that I could say about myself. I'm not super smart. I am very funny, actually, like I said so. But I try to be honest all the time, you know. And if I am not honest, it's because I have a bad memory because I have Alzheimer's. I'm just kidding. I don't have Alzheimer's. Why not just be honest? That's like the biggest thing. And people can sense your dishonesty. I think that's why people don't like Hasan. People who are actually, you know, they have the presence of mind they're able to actually read people on a level of a kindergartner. They're like, this guy, something doesn't add up about him. You know what I mean?
Turkish government and a lobbyist for the EU government. You know, regular, ordinary, not even upper middle class lifestyle kinds of jobs. Don't you guys understand that's how his father grew up? It was just struggle every day. Honestly, when he had to ride his thoroughbred horses on his property looking like this, that was a struggle for him. That was difficult for him because, you know, there was so much income inequality that the only reason he seemed like he had reasonable wealth, that under $80,000 is actually, it looks more wealthy than it actually is in Turkey.
But by the time I got to college, my dad lost everything. Right,
yeah, all of it, guys. He lost it, and he was so bad at hide and go seek he couldn't find it again.
So Jake's nephew right there says, "Oh, by the time he got to college, listen, his dad he just lost everything. He made some bad investments, you know, as an ordinary."
At this point, he's living in America, so even if that was true, he was already set up for life. He already had his entire life was like very affluent, but I also just don't believe it.
Not even upper middle class American by comparison, as the VP of this company that was lobbying the Turkish and the EU government. You know, he just lost everything, and it was fine. He was okay with it,
which is fine. I mean, I still had a lot of the benefits of a early upbringing.
So first of all, I don't believe Jake's nephew when he's like, "Oh, it was okay that he."
I mean, like that's where most of the benefit is, the entire upbringing, and then getting you to America and college and et cetera, et cetera. So. A little bit of a downplay.
He lost everything because, you know, I'm all about the struggle. I mean, I got a trust fund. Don't you guys?
It's the same as when people are like, yeah, you know, most millionaires didn't inherit their money from their parents. And it's like, yeah, you know, it's the issue. Like, who cares? It's not about inheriting money from your parents. It's about your parents having enough money to have you go to a good school and have good opportunities growing up, potentially be able to afford a tutor, living in a nice area with less crime, et cetera, having the money to get out of court, you know, if there was some kind of a thing. You know, just all these different things.
You guys get confused about that. I have my college paid for by my wealthy father and all that. But, you know, he lost everything. But I'm just like you guys. When my parents are successful, when they're making $73,000 a year, wink, wink, and then they lose everything in the middle of college, I just shake it off because it's no big deal to me.
Just like Taylor Swift.
Because I'm just like you. Hello, fellow humans. My name is Jake's nephew, and I'm just like you. But another reason I don't believe him is because if your family lost everything, if there was a big blow to your finances and whatnot, chances are you'd have a little bit more information than this.
Could you tell us, do you mind telling us how he lost everything or what?
Future trading.
What happened in this?
Was future trading? What is that? Bitcoin?
Gambled, basically.
Yikes. Okay.
You know?
This is like watching a low IQ individual in a police interrogation. You see Graham Stephan.
Well, they're not going to push him at all. I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, he would never take like an actual interview where he would get pushed on anything.
And I'm not familiar with the other guy that's also the co-host of this podcast. They're
in a clip, Trainwreck asked Hasan, does your monny funnel down? He said, yes, it does. The train asked, so you pay mods and editors? And again, Hasan says, yes, but not the editors, not mods. That's funny.
Finance guys, they understand this because Graham Stephan, at least from what I know, built up his whole portfolio on his own.
Whoa.
Started out with a real estate license, I believe at the age of 18. He might have been at the age of 20. Somebody correct me out in the comments. So the idea of his father losing everything, you know, futures trading, that might be something that scares off the regular commie who's an economic illiterate.
You put your money into future non-existent companies, hoping you make your money back. What? Oh, hold on. What is future trading? Yeah, okay. Futures are a type of contract agreement to buy or sell specific commodity, asset, or security. Okay, I don't even really understand how it works. I don't care. To be honest with
consider
you.
it,
I don't
but
give
they
a
want to
shit.
know what's going on.
I
So
don't
they
care.
start throwing out
I
information
don't
to him,
care.
and Jank's nephew, like an idiot in a police interrogation, starts repeating back that information immediately because there is no truth to this story. I don't believe it because Jank's nephew is a liar, and it
True
looks
that.
like right here he is lying.
Had you been doing that for a while and seen some success and then just kind of went all in on it or something?
Yeah, pretty much. I think
I love that.
I'm a little murky on the details. Like, I don't think he's never fully like brought it up. You know what I mean?
He's never really brought it up. I mean, we were just a regular, ordinary, had a bunch of horses on the property. I'm dressed like a freaking super.
He said on stream yesterday he spends his money on his family and the rest goes to retirement. He has enough money. Like he could already retire. Hasan's grift already paid off in dividends, and he could just retire and maintain his mansion and his fucking like $500,000 car or whatever the fuck he has. He's set for life, dude.
Villain kid that probably bullied Lex Luthor in Smallville, but we just lost
What? So weird.
everything, and he never explained why. He never explained why we went from $73,000 to working poor. Let me just look up the working poor. $30,000. That's what we ended up making. He never explained that. It's just so sad, man. I'm just like you, fellow humans. Like when your father loses everything, futures trading, and he loses his cushy $72,000 a year job, you also go and get handed a job by your uncle, and that's what you do when you start your Twitch career, obviously.
At the time, you guys probably know this, but if you don't, my uncle has a YouTube channel called the Young Turks.
Oh, he's so old though for a young Turk,
It was like a 26-person shop. It was like a tiny operation, not that big, not that media behemoth or anything.
So the next
Come on, stop.
thing that is absolutely hilarious about this is the fact that Jank's nephew tries to pretend that the Young Turks was a rinky-dink small little YouTube channel back in 2013. Now, at this moment in time, the channel had well over 1 million subscribers, and
Well, I guess because it's he's playing. It sounds like he's playing on he's playing on people's ignorance when it comes to some kind of an online business, right? Or some kind of like, you know what I mean? Because they're like, oh, 26, that's not a lot of people, I guess. What do people know? But on the internet, that could be a lot of people. You don't need as much infrastructure when you do like an internet, basically some form of a news business. Oh, it's only 26 people. Okay, that's a lot.
and it was really the largest online political show. Maybe you could compare it to the Alex Jones show on YouTube.
So I was like, yeah, I'll just go work with him, do an internship with him.
Yeah, nothing
And I'll
crazy.
live in LA and I'll study the LSATs. I had no interest in studying for the LSATs or going to fucking law school. So yeah, I started working there, and then I was like, yeah, maybe I should just like work with him instead. And at first it was really awful because I had no money and the Young
He had no money, guys.
Turks didn't have any money either.
Now, I'm not saying
What are you talking about?
that the Young Turks was this worlds away successful company, but I have seen the Cenk Uygur produced movie Mad as Hell: Rise of the Young Turks, and the idea that Cenk was still working out of his bedroom or his second bedroom in his apartment, like in
I had no money. He lived with his uncle for free. That's what I know. Dude's full of shit. And I'm not gonna lie, I had some nepotism from my uncle. Like that's how I got my job at the bus company. He worked there too. I worked with him a lot when we were younger too. Like worked at a deli he used to own. Hey, I love nepotism personally. Okay. But this whole downplay thing is so weird.
the origin of the company 10 years previous to this, back in like 03, is absurd and ridiculous in every possible way. But the thing is, Jank's nephew is a fraud through and through. A lot of these people will talk about how other people who earn their success, earn their wealth, are the nepotism types. They're people who didn't actually earn it. They exploited other people and all of that, and nobody makes it on their own. But the thing is, that comes from a deep-seated insecurity on their end, because the reason these people are communists is because they think, well, if I didn't earn it, nobody else could have possibly earned it. But at the same time, they're scared of the fact that they received every single break throughout the course of their life. So when it comes to their own personal success, they always attribute it only to them. It's a weird psychological loop that this guy is going through, and it's what requires him to continue.
Well, I think Hasan, this is the thing, is that Hasan admits that he is a nepo, like he had nepotism helped him when it's like convenient for him, but he drastically downplays it. He tries to play this middle line where it's like, yeah, I did benefit from nepotism. That's how I know it's bad. But also in other conversations, nepotism, I didn't benefit that much from my family. You know what I mean? He kind of tries to play both angles to seem relatable.
Continuously downplay.
I love nepotism, dude. Nepotism is amazing. Let's be honest here. I'm all for it, okay? Because here's the thing. If you hired a guy and he does great work, chances are his kid's going to do better work than some random off the street. So I like nepotism. I think everybody should be able to have a nice fair shot too. Everybody should have the chance to be able to earn themselves up, you know. But nepotism makes sense to me. So I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying.
The success and the help that he got along the way, when he should just own it. He should just say, hey, look, I come from a wealthy background. My father was not making $69,000 a year like I'm pretending right now, barely upper middle class in Turkey. I was actually a wealthy kid. I had the setup. I had all the advantages. It wasn't that.
I was doing pretty poggers. I don't know why that wasn't even funny.
Much of a risk for me after I graduated college to go work for my uncle where I was guaranteed a job and given chance after.
Thank you so much, AMVU, for the $5. Congratulations on all the new subs, live viewers. Love to see the growth. Oh, thanks. I didn't even know. Do I have more live viewers? Pretty poggers. Let's see what we got here. I can't even figure out how to use my own. How do you use Google, dude? Oh, I got like 272. That's cool.
To go.
I honestly don't pay that much attention. I just started labeling the streams. I think that's all it really did. But I appreciate that, man. I do. The subs are cool, though. I appreciate that, brother. I really do. Here's a kiss.
Chance until I landed on internet.
Yeah, you know, I kind of deserve all the subs and viewers I get. I kind of I did it all by myself. I didn't have any help. I didn't have any friends. I'm just better than all of you. You know what I mean? I'm just so relatable. I'm a middle class guy. You know, I mean, I guess I did earn my internet stuff more than Hasan, certainly. Then again, I feel like I got in at a real good time, and that was during COVID when there were so many people home. Like, I don't think I ever would have blew up without COVID putting me on the map, where more people were home and engaging and all that stuff with content. And then also with this reaction stuff, because let's be real, I do very low effort content, you know. I don't know if I would have done well doing a different. I mean, maybe I would have just done other reactions like this guy does, or maybe I would have done angry reactions. Oh,
communist as my path forward. And by the way, this is 100% true, as I pointed out before on this channel, and as XLP has at the end of his video. Jenk's nephew's
I prefer MLP.
Original plan was to do a show called Bro Tip, where he would do pickup artist crap.
Yeah.
Oh hey, didn't see you there. I'm Hasan.
Oh hey, didn't see you there. I'm Hasan Piker. Can I jack off in front of you? Just got to Louis C.K.
Piker, and this is Bro Tip, where I'll be giving you just the tip every week.
Just the tip.
Just for a little bit.
Every week, just for a little bit.
For our social guru segment, I'm going to let you know how you can get laid because you currently sit in your mother's basement and watch YouTube videos all day.
I don't understand the whole basement thing. The Wi-Fi is bad in the basement, so I don't really get it, you know? Like, what about the attic?
Our Bro Tip of the week is going out to all the wallflowers. This is a little thing me and my friends like to call the 5-second rule. What is the 5-second rule, you might ask? The 5-second rule is exactly when you see a girl for the first time ever and you don't think for longer than 5 seconds and you immediately react.
You just come. My 5-second rule is eating. I'll eat anything as long as it hasn't been touched on the floor for 5 seconds or, you know, really 5 minutes, as long as it hasn't been on there for too long. I don't think 5 minutes is that bad. Like, how long? Like, germs are very slow. You know, and I know this because when you get sick, you're sick for a long time. So that actually makes sense, by the way. You can disagree. That makes a lot of sense. You get sick, you're sick for a long time, germs are slow. The story writes itself.
That's the thing. When you watch those Bro Tip clips, and again, I'm trying to use clips from the XLP video as sparingly as possible, link to it in full in the description, you'll realize that the reason why he wasn't able to be successful doing this type of content is because he has no comedic timing, no charisma, nothing like that, and that's why he ended up moving in internet.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is that he was fatter then, too. He was fatter in that video. You think, because fat people are just funny. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like you hear a fat piece of shit talk and you're like, this is funny because or if it's because fat people are uglier. I have experience in that, by the way, so I can say it. Okay. And so you have to learn to have others' talents other than just being, more than just anything. You have to have more talents because you're ugly as shit. I don't know, but he's fatter there, so I don't know why he's not as funny. Or he's not funny at all.
Politics. Those who can't do teach, you might have heard. Well, those who don't succeed in entertainment end up becoming political content creators. Also, thank you for subscribing to Actual Justice Warrior, the political content creator show. Links in the description to the support link for this channel.
I needed to no longer be in the shadow of the Young Turks, no longer be in the shadow of my uncle, because no matter what I did, everyone was like, nepotism. That's the reason why you're successful. Nepotism. That's the reason why your Facebook, popping off. Nepotism.
Yeah.
It's like, well, he's not doing fucking Facebook videos. Like, what do you mean? He literally can't. Like,
again, it just
literally can't. He doesn't even understand what nepotism means.
Listen to how pathetic he sounds right here. So people, by the way, this largely came from me. I was one of the first people to call him Jank's nephew in a video I think I did all the way back in 2017.
He's taking credit for the Hasan day. It's funny.
And he really don't like the fact that people have started to recognize this and understand this. But he's like, oh,
that makes more sense. I never knew why I called him Jank's nephew, like to the fullest, but it probably does piss off Hasan. Hasan just has anger problems. Base man.
My Facebook videos weren't successful because of my uncle. He didn't even do Facebook videos. That was all me. It doesn't matter that.
Damn, back when Facebook was the new medium.
I was on the Young Turks platform, which was an established brand name, that I had every advantage, that I was promoted and all that I had the company protecting me whenever I said something stupid or ridiculous. I did it on my own. I'm basically like Scott Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's kid, who, for a while he operated without his father's last name as attached to him as an actor, didn't get any parts. But then once that relationship came through and everybody understood that he was Clint Eastwood's kid, he started being successful. But that was due to the work he put in on his own, just like me.
Give me the nepotism, baby. Give me the nepotism. I don't give a frick. All right. I'll still be good at my job. I was good at my job. They liked me at my job. I'm sure part of it was because I was my uncle's nephew. But I did good there. I was quiet. I got everything done. You know what I mean? I like nepotism. I'm good. I hated people who get the job because of nepotism and they just fucking suck balls. Those people piss me off. Those people are annoying as shit. I work with people like that too. Holy fuck, they're a dog shit.
I put in all that work on Facebook. And by the way, I use those Facebook videos to promote my own personal Instagram.
Just don't take advantage of your nepotism. You know what I mean? Like, work for the job and do good. You know?
And my own personal Twitch. So this is exactly how I got my start. But trust me, bro, it's all on my own. My uncle wasn't even doing 5 minutes.
And he started doing the political stuff on Twitch too. I don't think people keep that in mind. He was the first one to do politics on Twitch. Nobody else would ever have done that, Destiny.
Videos on Facebook that were
that's a claim Hasan made.
In the format that I was doing that were terrible and horribly unentertaining and interesting.
So I was always like trying to move the audience from TYT Properties to something that I own, like, my Instagram.
Yeah.
They were not too fond of that.
But that's the thing about people like Jank's nephew. They have no confidence, no belief in themselves. They're absolute frauds in every possible way. And in reality, when they talk about the greed of Wall Street or the greed of corporations or the greed of the billionaire class, they're actually describing themselves, their own desires, their own wants, but they can't cope. They can't align with that. Jank's nephew grew up wealthy. He grew up incredibly privileged. And
yeah, he grew up getting good education. He grew up like getting good food, which is it's hugely impactful, having access to good food, because it helps you make smarts in your brains. Diet is incredibly important. Having enough food, eating decent food, all these things are very important. I mean, dude, this guy's, and he's so fucking like, what? I don't understand I really don't understand like the true. I don't understand people who could sit down and watch this on for like a long period of time. What's the entertainment value? Like, all jokes aside, I don't mean to toot my own horn. I think I'm entertaining. Like, I think I'm kind of funny. Like, I get why you think I'm dumb and cringe and annoying, but I get it. I would get it. If you're like, I watch you every day, I get it. I'm sexy. What the fuck do you get out of Hasan? It's just yelling. It's like loud.
He wants to maintain that privilege. And one of the things that he likes to do is go off and attack people who are less fortunate than him while downplaying his enormous financial success. Ooh. One of my favorite clips actually doesn't come from the XLP video. It comes from a guy called Kamal. And again, I will link this in the description.
Kamal? I like this guy. Is it the black guy?
Description of this video. You watch it in full.
It is a black guy. See, I know all black guys. I can name every one of them. But I won't, because people will call me racist.
It's 30 minutes long, is really good. Is this clip of him 1 month before he bought his $3 million house?
That's so cheap, though. You think California, $3 million is basically only like $2.9 million. You know what I mean?
Attacking a streamer on Twitch and saying that he doesn't understand how a streamer can make this much money because that streamer bought a $2.9 million house.
Unimaginable wealth, dude. How the fuck do people make this much money? $2.9 million near Las Vegas? Dude, oh my fucking lord, dude.
And then less than a month later, he buys a house even more expensive than the one in the video.
Look, how do people buy this house? He was actually asking for a friend for himself, though. He's like, how do you buy that house? Like, literally, who's your realtor? Thank you so much, Anna Fox, for the £2 and 2.9 About $2. Because the currency is different. I know it's a meme, but it really my first stream. Incredible. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. $5 to Jet Cunningham. I almost said Cumberbutt. I don't know why that's happened. Papa, time for a goon/jelk session. Keep the Leviathans at bay. It's incredible. My wife did leave to go to the store. I should have gooned, but I didn't. I was trying to like work. We went to like this cool little hobby shop kind of a thing and bought some stuff today. It was only like $200. So, because I'm so relatable. So I was like, I gotta work so I can make money. I really want to make it so my wife doesn't have to work. It's kind of my goal right now. I want my wife to not have to work anymore. I want her to be able to stay home, kids, clean, do that stuff, and then also, but I'm gonna make sure I have to have enough money too to get her out of the house because I'm gonna want to be alone. To goon, I'll probably just make a gooning cave. You know what I mean? Because I could do it when she's home, and she doesn't care. She thinks it's hot. She likes to she would want to walk in on me, but I don't know what it is when I'm in that time. I want to be left alone, I think I'm oversharing.
I understand that if you're one of Jenk's Nephew's fans, you're already lost. There is no reaching you. You think, oh, he was victimized into buying a $3 million house.
True.
That's just what houses ended up costing in our capitalist system, and you can't fault him for functioning in society. These are legitimate arguments that I've heard before. He also has a $250,000 Porsche, but we're not even talking about that. I think it's incredibly important.
I really just want to get a Hellcat so I can actually say that I'm black. You know what I mean? Like I want a Hellcat. Do we have kids? Not yet. We're gooning for him.
Important to understand that just like Carlos Maza,
I almost bought one like the year before last year because I accidentally rented one, which is like we rented a regular car when we went to Disney, and then they didn't have the car we rented. Like you could take one that's like more expensive than the one that you rented because we're out of the car. So I took a fucking Dodge Challenger. I loved it. I almost bought one. It was a good thing I didn't because, the ups and downs of the internet world. I still hadn't found myself as a content creator. I'm pretty happy with myself now. So I'm happy that I didn't then because that would have been probably a bad purchase. But once we get in a much better spot. But then first I have to get like a kind of like a minivan-ish car because, we're going to have kids soon. So maybe like a Ford Edge or some kind of car like that. I don't know.
His stepfather is also a billionaire and also provides for him to be able to do all
his stepfather.
Whose stepfather is also a billionaire and also provides for him to be able to
Is his mom polyamorous?
do all the ridiculous things that he does, also an internet communist, just like Vosh, whose parents grew up in Beverly
Or is he just talking about Cenk?
Hills. These people are in denial of
Vosh grew up in Beverly Hills? Holy fuck. That makes sense. I get it. Well, it does. A rich guy pretending to have fucking autism so that he could harass women, jerk off to fucking horses in Lolicon. Incredible.
who they are. They are the elites. They think that they know better.
I came from a single mom who did well. You know what I realized though? Talking to some people in my family, I'm actually lucky. Like my dad left my mother when she was pregnant, which was like, it sucks for her obviously, but also for me, because it's like, oh man, why didn't you want me? Sad stuff. Makes me feel like Will Smith in that show, where his biggest problem was his dad didn't love him, instead of his real life where his biggest problem is that his wife doesn't love him. But then I realized that that's not that bad. Some people's dads molest them. So I try to keep a positive. I try to keep a positive attitude. I didn't have that problem, at least. And if you're somebody who did have that problem, I'm really sorry to you, and I'm sorry if my joke offended you, but at least your dad didn't kill you. Remember, right? That was a little too far. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I really love you so much. I love you.
Better for you than you do for yourself, and that's why they're socialists. And the fact that they're in such denial of their privileged status is absolutely hilarious. For example, me on this channel, I did build this on my own. In fact, I was going to do this channel with a bunch of friends, but I couldn't get any of my friends that I'd known for years to commit to working on a group project that had no guarantee of income. So I decided to quite literally make a channel where I could do this on my own, and it's become successful due to the work that I put in. But
here you go. It's a little kiss for you, buddy. I love you.
That doesn't mean that I didn't have help. That doesn't mean that I didn't have support. My current fiance actually called
Who's your fiance?
one of my relatives and decided that they were going to split the cost of my first camera. $600 for a Canon T5i.
That's so nice, man. That's beautiful for you, brother. I love you. That's so beautiful.
Back in the day, my fiance also gave me the first.
I really got lucky because like I didn't. This is one of the things where like other content creators, when they start, like they have to like start from scratch For me, I got really lucky blowing up on TikTok. I had a fucking like $150 smartphone back in the day, and I just got popular. And then I was able to like use that to like, oh, like I had the money to buy stuff. I mean, money was tight, but I had like, you know, I could make bad financial decisions. So then after I would start doing well, I'm like, oh, I'll get like a nice phone. And then eventually I'm like, oh, I'm going to get a streaming computer. And I was able, you know what I mean? It was a little more of a guarantee for me than other people. That's how I'm very fortunate. But at that point, you know what I mean?
First laptop that I would use to edit. $252 for a 2011 MacBook Pro off of eBay.
And then I shopped around. Like if you're somebody that's like, oh, I want to stream. I got to go buy all this, that, and the other thing. I'm using a PC that I spent $1,800 for 3 years ago, and I got a dual monitor set up for $150 off of Facebook Marketplace. And like my webcam is, dude, don't even invest in like the best. Invest in like okay. You just need mediocre equipment to start. And if people like you, you'll get people to look at the channel, and then you can invest in better stuff. But don't get caught in this like whole thing of like, oh, I need the best this. I need to spend like $5,000. Fuck that. Like this year, I'm gonna spend money on a setup. I'm gonna get because I feel like I've been doing this for 3 years. I can drop some money into it, especially since I can also write it off. But at first, man, you don't need the greatest stuff in the world. You know, there are people who sit in their cars and talk to the camera that do well. You know, I had an awful beard. You suck, dude. You're mean.
Something that she delivered for me. Now, I didn't get a major shout out or anything
I'll
like
call
that
you.
from a
I'll call you after this segment, baby, okay?
larger creator, but one of the people that's helped me behind the scenes is Lauren Chen.
Oh, is she Asian?
I was not making any revenue basically on this channel, nowhere near what I should have been. And Lauren Chen was like, hey, hook up with this network. They'll get you the in-video reads and you'll actually have more income. And that has allowed me to earn a lot more on this channel, to put in more work.
What is that from? Like, ads?
To make this a more viable and sustainable job. I've also been able to do live
I've never done ads before, which is fun.
appearances, debate panels, and other people's shows occasionally, and those were largely hooked up also by Lauren Chen, by the way. Really do appreciate her. Very
Oh shit, dude, this guy, that's your mommy now, dude. You told us you didn't get any nepotism from your family, dude. That's your fucking mommy at this point, bro.
cool person behind the scenes, if you guys are not aware, and I'm perfectly comfortable sharing that because I have nothing to be insecure about. And by the way, if I got a shout out from a major creator when I was at like 10,000 subscribers that jumped me up to like 200,000 or whatever, I would acknowledge that. But Jenk's nephew is in full denial mode. The Young Turks, the largest online left
HDB got thank you so much. What is that? Yoshi Vinyl? Thank you so much for $2. HBD Gutman. Here's to another yummy year of content. Okay, thanks. What does HBD mean?
Wing media program on YouTube. That was just a small rinky-dink channel when he got there.
Wrinkle
they
dinkle.
were barely doing anything. When he started streaming and Destiny helped him out a lot. Oh, well, Destiny was just a guy that played video games and sometimes talked about politics. Really had no way of introducing me to other people or setting me up on Twitch and gave me no advice. Yeah, because Jenk's nephew did it.
I think didn't he live with Destiny for a little bit or something?
On his own. And by the way,
or Destiny offered him to live there?
he wasn't even raised wealthy, guys. This was a guy who was raised not even upper middle class by American standards. I mean, his father was just the VP of a Fortune 500 company lobbying the Turkish government and lobbying the EU, but he lost absolutely everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a new computer after I buy my new desk. We went to IKEA the other day and we found this desk. It looks beautiful. It's like a wooden desk and it goes up and down with electric. Good description. It costs like $800. They didn't have it in there yet, but I said, fuck it. I loved it. I want to buy it. I don't give a shit. I want to spend too much money on a setup. I said, fuck it. Then I'm going to buy the computer, set that up. Then I got to get Verizon over here so they can change the location of my router and everything and figure all that stuff out. You know. But hey, fuck it.
Everything when he went to college, and Jenk's nephew was fine with it because he's such a good guy. And that's the thing. He just continuously lies over and over and over again. Recently, he said something like he only makes about what a doctor makes in terms of salary. The Twitch leaks that came out a couple of years ago showed that he was making well over $200,000 a month just from Twitch.
My God. I wish I was making $200,000 a year, man. That would be fucking awesome. Like, that'd be awesome, bro. $200,000 a year would be amazing. Oh my God. Like, I'm thankful for what I make now. Okay, God? Big ups. But $200,000 a month, a year would be fucking sick. Oh my Lord.
just on his main account. That doesn't count merchandise. That doesn't count the other shows that he does. That doesn't count YouTube ad revenue and all of that.
Yeah.
Just from Twitch, he was pulling in
even now if he's only making 100,000, like holy fuck,
$200,000 a month. And again, that was a couple of years ago. That is not what your average everyday doctor makes. In fact, if you're a doctor and you make 200,
maybe if you're a doctor that kills patients on purpose and then harvests their organs and sell them, then that average doctor would. You didn't think about that, did you, actual justice warrior?
$1,000 a year in a lot of parts of the country, that's considered a relatively decent salary. Now, there are some specialized practices, cosmetic surgery and whatnot, where you would probably be able to make that much more if you were a dentist.
I mean, I also feel like doctors make too much money, by the way. Just to be clear, doctors make way too much money. And part of the reason is because it's so hard to become a doctor in America. There's, in my opinion, just fundamentally, when it comes to any course curriculum, they make you take too much stuff sometimes. Like, hey guys, I want to be a social worker. All right, well, make sure you take like this pretty high up there math. Oh, okay, that makes so much sense. Why? You know, they should streamline it more. That would make it less expensive, make it more affordable. More people would be able to have access to it. You know, it's a little bit of goosery. That's all. That's just what I think.
A high-end Manhattan dentist, you would probably be able to make that much more or more than Cenk's nephew, at least according to just the Twitch earnings. But in reality, you're raking in the money. You're exorbitantly wealthy. You
also, doctors actually have to have talent.
Got wealthy because you were set up for success by your wealthy father, by your wealthy uncle who was connected into media, and you were able to launch yourself as a parasite off the Young Turks into your own success. And then when you were done with Cenk Uygur, you decided that you were going to leech off of destiny. Just acknowledge who you are. Acknowledge how you got there.
And then off of Ethan Klein, let's be real. I mean, Ethan did all that show. He probably got like a 50-50 thing on that. And now that that's over, I feel like that's the biggest decline, is that like he's not working with Ethan anymore. And it's just kind of, he's gotten really, I don't think anything else. I mean, I think he has some podcasts with a bunch of fucking losers from Twitch, but nobody gives a shit about them. Like, you can criticize Ethan as much as you want. He stayed relevant and he's still successful. You might say like, oh, well, he's losing subscribers. Yeah, but it's not equaling loss in views. Those subscribers are meaningless. You know what I mean? Like, they're not like to his bottom dollar or top dollar, whatever the fuck you'd say. So he's maintained relevancy longer than probably anybody. He's very successful, even if you dislike him for, you know, different reasons. Which I don't really like. I don't really dislike. Yeah, I want to like him. You know, it just pisses me off sometimes. It's like a hemorrhoid. I'm trying to, yeah. But the good thing about hemorrhoids is that it's like a speed bump for your wiener. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Stop with this, oh, nobody earns on their own. Nobody builds anything themselves except for me, because it's embarrassing. You're an embarrassment. But hey, those are just my thoughts. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, then show them by leaving a like. Subscribe for more content. Follow me on my social media. Support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about what an absolute fraud Cenk's nephew is. Until next time.
Got him. I like that. Fraud. Or maybe I'll make that in the title. All right, cool video.